Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the XO18 Prediction Show. Of course, I am your host, MrBooMStickXL, and I have my incredible co-host, the Welsh Gamer. Welcome back, Drew. It's so great to have you. So much to talk about.
No, man, I'm excited. I'm very excited to say the least. Let's hit it, man. Let's not waste any time. Thanks.
Yeah, there is really a lot to talk about. Some breaking news, literally. I'm going to be giving a couple of shout outs to a few of the amazing Twitter community that have brought some hot off the presses information to me. But you know what? I want to do, got to pay those bills, like they say. And today's show is being sponsored by the awesome Arcade One Up Company. All of your favorite classic video games with authentic gameplay in an affordable arcade style machine. No quarters needed. They are available now. And of course, UK Batteris will be putting the link into the chat. If you're not familiar with the Arcade One Up Company, they make arcade machines for the home. I highly suggest that you go out and you check out their YouTube channel and watch these machines in action. They're really just amazing. And again, I'm going to say this: being that I grew up in the arcade era, if you will, because of course, everyone knows I'm an older gamer. These machines are really arcade perfect, and I highly recommend them. I will be previewing the Street Fighter arcade cabinet on my channel and doing a live unboxing with that later on in the month. But you know what? Let's continue on with, of course, what everyone is here for, and that is the gaming news. Some recent tweets from Sea of Thieves, from their official Twitter account, had this to say. Another reason to tune in to XO18 episode of Inside Xbox on Saturday. You'll receive an Obsidian drum and spyglass if you watch via Mixer.com. There will also be in-game items for Horizon 4. Okay, folks, listen. We knew about the letter of intent. It's probably the worst kept secret in the entire gaming verse, if you will. But having Obsidian gear added to Sea of Thieves basically confirms that Obsidian is probably going to be announced as an Xbox, an Xbox exclusive developer. Drew, what are your takeaways from this tweet? And do you wish they would just come out and say it already?
Well, in terms of the tweet, I'd go to say, like I've said before, about the camaraderie between all these first-party developers with Xbox. Like, they all band together, they help each other out, they help raise the roof a little. I think it's cool that the guys over at Sea of Thieves Rare tweeted this out. And they're doing this little promotion to get the word out. Maybe this is their way of announcing it. Maybe just in a backwash kind of way. Maybe they're waiting for EXO specifically to make the official announcement. But I really like it, man. I think it's a subtle, chilled out sort of like, yo, look, this is what's happening. So I think it's cool that they tweeted it out and that you're going to be getting some exclusive gear via Mixer. It's brilliant. To say, like I said, like the bottom line, what I love about the Xbox's first party across the board, and then Obsidian being added to it, is the camaraderie. Like I know I keep saying it, but I don't see like it happening on any other platform. Like the camaraderie between the companies, like all banding together as one network of developers. It's really cool, like how they're doing it. It's different and it's quite endearing, actually. Like that, this is how they're going to be promoting that Obsidian has been taken under by Microsoft. It's quite cool.
You know what? Say what you want about Obsidian, but they have been responsible for some of the best RPGs in not just obviously not in just this generation, because they obviously helped and they were the developer of South Park, the first one, the Stick of Truth, which was unbelievably fantastic, so funny. But they also have done major current gen RPGs, and to have them as a first party really does open the door for Microsoft to constantly have a steady flow of games, from their first party. Because obviously, there was major concerns about the amount of developers they have, and now they seem to just keep adding and adding to the stable. Another late breaking piece of information, and this is going to excite a lot of people, especially if you are a keyboard and mouse fan. And basically, this confirms that is going to be a big deal at XO18. This information comes to us from Idle Sloth on Twitter, where he tweeted a picture of Age of Empires Definitive Edition coming to the Xbox One. Drew, this basically, for me anyway, says that a lot of gamers like myself have complained that PC keeps getting Xbox games, but we're not getting any of theirs, especially something like Gears Tactics. I was very outspoken about that, and I'm going to say this. I'm not, and I really mean this, I am not a keyboard and mouse kind of a dude, but I'm going to say this. If it's the only way I can get Gears Tactics to play on my Xbox One X, then I will gladly pick one up from Razer. They're obviously affiliated with Microsoft in some sort of deal, and gladly play that game. Drew, what does this information mean to you, and are you excited to see what PC-centric titles will be coming to the Xbox platform?
Well, I posed the immediate question, but you already took the words out of my mouth. As you always do, Boom. I swear we share it.
Sorry, brother.
I know that. Blasphemy. But no, mouse and keyboard support, man. Big question mark next to that one. I think this is definitely like the start of something. I think we've said it before, Boom. Like, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Like this whole relationship between Xbox and the PC ecosystem. I do think that this is the start of PC and Xbox scratching each other's back. With the Play Anywhere initiative and games going over to PC, I'm right there with you, Boom. I remember Micro saying it as well. Eventually, it is bound to work both ways. And for Age of Empires, which is it's up there with like Empire Earth and other like RTSs like that are big on the PC. Okay, mouse and keyboard's going to be an important factor, but odds are, I can confidently say that this is just another hint in the roster of hints that this is what's going to be happening. And this ultimately proves that the expanded reach that Xbox made to PC and its ecosystem could have some very big benefits that no other platform can have at this point. So all I'll say is this to all the people who like, made fun of Xbox and were living in the yesterday because of Xbox reaching out to the PC market and expanding with Play Anywhere and all first-party games are available on PC. Believe me, like this Age of Empires will not be the first and certainly won't be the last. I said that wrong, but you know what I'm saying. It won't be.
Yeah.
It certainly won't be the last of the games to come over. Yes, you might have to, get out of your comfort zone a little bit and use the mouse and keyboard, because a lot of these games are going to be probably only compatible with a mouse and keyboard. But fuck it, man. Like that's cool. I mean, I'm a gamer at the end of the day. If there's a game I want to play and on the Xbox, like if I want it to be on the Xbox, like say World of Warcraft was announced to come onto the Xbox via mouse and keyboard, you mark my words. You bet your bottom dollar I will be buying a mouse and keyboard and I'll be learning how to use it, because I will. Yeah,
we'll have to adapt. That's the bottom line.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. It's going to work both ways. Games are going to be now going from our games are going to be going on the PC via the Xbox umbrella, and now vice versa. And if all you need is a mouse and keyboard, I'm all for it, man. But this definitely screams that the mouse and keyboard is coming probably sooner than we expected.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm going to say this once again. It's certainly for me going to be making me go out of my comfort zone. I'm a controller guy. I have always been a controller guy. I can maybe count on one hand in 40 plus years how many keyboard and mouse games I've personally played. So that just goes to show you. But Gears Tactics is something I'm extremely interested in. Some of the other RTS type titles, like Age of Empires, I've never played any of them, but I'm gonna be honest. It would be something that it was if it was like $40, or let's just say finds its way into Game Pass, which I think would be amazing. I'll actually give it a shot because hey, I've heard only good things about that title. But you know what? I don't want to say too much about mouse and keyboard simply because we don't have any definitive information in front of us. This is all speculation. Just to give everyone the heads up, towards the end of today's show, we will be doing our top 5 predictions for XO18. I don't think anyone has what I'm going to be talking about on the record except maybe one. I'm very interested to hear what Drew has to say, but we're going to break those down later. Let's get into the next topic, and I find this to be extremely interesting. Obviously, this month was N7 Day, and if you're a fan of Mass Effect, you know exactly what that means. And some new information popped up early this week that I thought that we needed to discuss. Mass Effect Andromeda, the game, yes, the one that everyone does not want to talk about, is getting Xbox One X enhanced. And this story I pulled from Windows Central. And it says Mass Effect Andromeda was supposed to be the definitive Mass Effect experience. And as it moved towards the open region structure, a lot of people were disappointed with the direction the game took. Even months later, it still struggled on Xbox One. However, what was most upsetting to gamers was the fact that a lot of plot points were unresolved, and that's probably why it's sitting at maybe I think it's sitting like a 7.5, 7.8, something like that on Metacritic. I had 30 hours into the game, but I'm going to say this: despite how many of the gamers feel about what BioWare Montreal was able to do, there is still something to be said about the size and scope of this game. And you know what? Seeing it in a different light, and I really do mean that, seeing it in the Xbox One X enhancements mode might be able to fix some of the wonkiness and the some of the graphics were a little man, they were like teeth grinding at times. I'm very interested to see what this enhancement is going to do. I would love it to see it running in 60 FPS in 4K. I don't know the specifics because it's I don't have that in front of me, but I'm going to say that it would definitely get me to pick up this game again. But you know what? The fun part about this show is not only talking with you, Drew, but talking with the chat, and that's really what drives me as a content creator. So in the chat, if you're interested in Mass Effect Andromeda getting this Xbox One X enhancement, give me a 1, and if you don't care, give me a 2. Drew, but I want to get your thoughts on this. Is this important to you as a gamer? Is this something that would make you possibly pick up or go back to Mass Effect Andromeda?
Well, I do, in fact, own Andromeda. I haven't played a great deal of it, basically because of my backlog. But
Right.
what I did play of it, I did enjoy, and I do fully intend to go back to it at some point. But just to pretend for 1 second that I've never even played Andromeda, I think this is great news, and I think for a lot of people who may not have already been fans of the franchise or never played a Mass Effect game at all, but they own an Xbox One X, it's just incentive. There's to be honest, there's not really any game out there that I wouldn't at least consider if the developer has taken the time to make it One X enhanced. Because as an Xbox, I've said this to you before, Boom, as an Xbox One X owner, I want as many reasons as possible to justify the purchase, because like I've said, it's not a state secret. I am not a rich man. To buy my Xbox One X and 4K TV, I'm still suffering to this day. I have about 20 lashes a day over the back, and that's payment by the high priest who lent me the money. But literally, it's a big. I think it's a big deal for any game to get that enhancement. But I think fans of the game, people who are fans of Mass Effect Andromeda or Mass Effect in general, this is good news. This is obviously excellent news. It breathes new life into the game. That goes for any game, like I said, Boom, like any game that, like, you know, the developer takes the time to give it that enhancement. Like The Witcher 3, for example. Don't get me wrong, that game could have never had an enhancement ever, and people would still be playing it because it's just fucking amazing.
Yeah,
but
it's gorgeous.
Oh, insane. But the fact that the guys at CD Projekt Red took the time to do the 4K patch, that is another game, even though I've played it 4 times in a row, and I've done New Game Plus loads, and I've played the shit out of it, and I literally know every line of dialogue back to front, I still want to replay it now that it has the X enhancement. And I will get round to it, but once again, backlog, say, you know, at the moment I'm playing through Red Dead.
Yeah, I mean, really, who's not playing through Red Dead?
Oh, I know that game though, man. Oh God, I could actually spend a whole podcast talking about that one game. It's unbelievable. But back to the point. Mass Effect Andromeda getting a 1X enhancement is nothing short of good. You can't really pull a negative from that. If you're a fan of the game, you should be very pleased. And if you haven't played Mass Effect Andromeda, it's just another reason to try it. Like, I think it's good.
Yeah, it's good. And if you have EA Access, which I highly, highly recommend you, everyone getting involved in, it's $30 a year for an incredible amount of games in their vault. That happens to be one of them. You obviously get to play games, I think, for 5 days earlier for 10 hours. And again, this is not an EA Access talking point. It's just that if you don't have Mass Effect Andromeda, you're not looking to spend any kind of monies, and you do have EA Access, it is there for you to download. Take advantage of that. Give it a shot. Take some pictures. Put it on Twitter. Let people know that you're playing it. You know, Drew, I want to move on to now. Again, I'm going to move on to the next topic, and some topics, they're not bangers, if you will, but they're Xbox related information, and some people may not know about it. I happen to find this very interesting, which is why I added it. A new shopping cart addition is being added to the Xbox and Windows to the store, to insiders. And if you're not familiar with the shopping cart, basically is this function or feature has been available for PSN for what seems like ever. And basically what that means is that instead of having to buy game, let's say for instance you want to go and you want to buy 6 games. Right now, currently on Xbox, you would have to buy each game, buy it, you know, and it's a bit annoying, okay? But with like the PSN, you put it into your shopping cart, you add your 6 games, you go to checkout, and all your 6 games are there. The minute you pay, it gives you the ability. Most of the time, they start downloading automatically. Well, this feature is coming to Microsoft, to everyone. Right now, it's being tested with, you know, anyone that's part of the Insider program. But you know what? I'm going to say this. Microsoft has been extremely proactive when adding useful services and UI upgrades to the Xbox One to make them more user-friendly. With the upcoming change to the Xbox Store, they are making digital shopping even easier, and I happen to really appreciate that. In a post on the Xbox Wire, Senior Product Marketing Manager Chris Swenson said, "We work hard to improve the shopping experience in the Microsoft Store and are always looking for ways to improve the discoverability and purchase of the product and services we sell. Today, we are excited to announce that customers can begin using our improved shopping cart, and later this week, our new wish list." Now, Drew, again, it's not groundbreaking story, okay? Everyone's not going to run from this podcast and start tweeting, "Holy shit, guess what, folks? We have a shopping cart." But at the same time, it's still Xbox related news. I happen to find it very noteworthy. What are your takeaways on them constantly adding and upgrading the UI and making it easier for people who love their Xbox to get in and out of their services?
Right. Well, first and foremost, I'll just say the obvious. I'm surprised this hasn't happened sooner, but better late than never. Because obviously, like, God, like when it concerns any form of online shopping, from Amazon to New Look or some clothesline or Ralph Lauren or even a car and parts to a car. I don't know. There's all shopping cart a checkout system. So I am surprised it hasn't happened sooner. But like I said, better late than never. But I'm still half giggling, though, Boom, from the holy shit, there's a shopping cart.
Well, I gotta try and make it funny.
Oh man, you had me laughing, man. I had to mute my mic. But no, it's a great feature, and the Xbox dashboard's always improving. I mean, you'll obviously get the odd person who's like, yeah, but PlayStation's had it for ages. Okay, whatever. Like I just said, like I am surprised it hasn't happened sooner, and it's it seems silly that it hasn't now that you say it out loud. But hey ho, silver lining, all that bollocks. But bottom line, like it's just testament to Xbox in general and how much they do listen and take on feedback, and they change things, even subtle things that need changing, some things that don't necessarily need changing, but because someone or enough people have asked for it, they do. I think it's great. It creates it's creating essentially a more efficient way to shop on the Xbox dashboard, which a lot of people will benefit from. It'll be easier, simpler, less time consuming. If there's a handful of games you want to buy, you can just tick the ones you want, pay for them in one bundle, and you don't have to like you said, do it individually. Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, obviously, like you said, it's one of those things like no one's going to be running around going, holy shit. But it is good. And it just, once again, for me, just proves that Xbox as a platform and as a company are constantly changes on what people have asked for. Yes, okay, this one isn't the most mind-melting, mind-blowing thing ever, but still it's something that will benefit people. It certainly will benefit you next month when there's a handful of games you want to buy and you don't have to spend 20 minutes bloody clicking and paying individually. You can just do them all at once, take you 5 minutes. It's good. It's cool. I'm glad they're listening. It just, like I said, testament to them as a company, consumer-friendly company, just constantly making improvements to benefit the gamer.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I really like the fact that Microsoft you never see them resting on their laurels. They're always trying to make advancements to make anything that you do with the Xbox platform easier. And I just want to bring up something. We're talking about shopping, and in a story that literally was just brought to me by Old School G of Twitter, who is a very good friend of mine. We're talking about shopping. So guess what? If you're a PC person, and when you say PC, some people get offended. Well, guess what? It exists, folks. And right now, Xbox is in bed, and they're doing something they probably shouldn't. Okay. You've heard of humble bundles. I said bumble like in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer bumbles, and they do bounce. Humble Bundle apparently just tweeted a tease that they're going to be making an Xbox, an XO18 Xbox One announcement. Now that's pretty interesting. And the story comes to us from Windows Central. Now, here is exactly what the tweet says. Tune in to Inside Xbox at 3 p.m. CT November 10th to experience XO18. And it says here, it has a bunch of hashtags: Sea of Thieves, Forza Horizon 4. But this is coming from, again, Humble Bundle. Now, I have seen some of their deals on PC. And when they put these packages together, you are sometimes getting as much as a dozen games for a price that is just so outrageous. And usually it's charity based. So every dollar goes to that particular charity when you purchase these humble bundles. What do you think about them teaming up with Xbox? Do you think that this this gap in the road between PC and Xbox is closing each and every time we have one of these shows, Drew?
Oh no, mate, absolutely. I think despite a lot of people not wanting it to be that way, because there still are a lot of people that don't want it, and I respect their opinion on the matter, but whether they like it or not, I do think that is exactly what's happening. I think there is bridges being built more than there are bridges being burnt. It is growing ever closer, and little things like the shopping cart system working on both ways, the keyboard and mouse thing, that's bridging another gap. Games coming over, our games going over, that's bridging another gap. And then in this instance, I'll be honest, I've never heard of this Humble Bumble or Mumble Bumble or whatever they're called. But you say that they do a lot of bundles over on Steam and PC.
Oh, forget it, dude. These Humble Bundles are insane, dude. Incredible.
So give me an example, literally, because I can't be the only one here, in the chat or whatever, that hasn't heard of them unless I've been sleeping.
Well, basically, what they do with these bundles is they'll advertise on Steam. Usually, they'll do it through Twitter. They'll do it through social media, and they'll say, "Okay, these 10 games for the price of $20." And again, depending on what games they are, sometimes they could be as much as 5 AAA games in there, as well as a bunch of indies.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, it is usually their deals are usually head turners, and the fact that you're going to possibly be able to now get these on the Xbox platform, I think is a big deal. And I think what you said, you made really great point, that this is a testament to the fact that the PC and Xbox gap that's there will eventually be shrunk to a way where it's really going to be a step over a crack in the road. And I actually don't have a problem with that. My biggest problem with the whole Play Anywhere and PC Kumbaya thing is that they were getting our titles and we were getting nothing. And I thought that was a really an uncool one-way street that I don't want to drive down. And I like the idea that we're starting to see, okay, mouse and keyboard, again, not my thing, but it is some people's things. There are some gamers out there that do enjoy it. And as long as there's a choice of whether or not who you want to play with, like, for instance, like Gears 4, it's a switch of a button. Do you want to play with PC people? Nope. And guess what? You're playing with only console people. That's great. If that's an option, then that's the way it should be. As for getting a lot of RTS games, I think that's going to be fantastic, because there are a tremendous amount of RTS fans out of the 45,000 Xbox One owners that enjoy that genre, and getting new games is awesome. You can't argue that. And now, of course, with this tweet, it's obviously blatantly apparent that Humble Bundles will be coming to the Xbox platform. Again, that is a big deal. If you're familiar with what I'm talking about, you know that they have some really unbelievable deals. And I think that listen, you can't argue with getting more stuff to your platform. That's all I'm going to say. But what are your opinions on that? Should people be scared, or should people just open up their arms and just hug the PC?
Boom. Hello.
Yes, I'm here, Drew.
All right. Okay. Am I coming through clearly?
Yes, you certainly are.
No, that's fine. You are too now. For about 5 seconds, you were botting a little bit.
Well, sorry about that, chat. Listen, Mike. Again, I'm not sure if you heard the question, but I'll give it to you again. Apparently, the gap has closed to the point where it's literally just stepping over a crack in the road. And I am not going to certainly be one of these people that complain about getting more services and more games and the ability to have different types of games on my platform. What are your takeaways? Should people be upset about this, or should people just open arms and hug a PC?
I think it's a simple case, Boom, of if it don't affect you, just leave it be. So, like, no one's got a gun to your head saying you have to use mouse and keyboard, you have to play Age of Empire, you have to embrace the PC market. If it's not your bag, just continue as normal. Like, what Do you know what I mean? Like these
Yes,
people who are
yes.
kicking and screaming and spitting their dummies out of the pram, saying like, "Ah, oh, but we don't want it." But it's like, why? Why wouldn't you want it? At least, like, what? Why should you make that decision that Xbox is not having these games when, okay, you don't want them, but someone round the corner might. I think these people, whoever they are, I don't care if there's people in the chat listening who feel that way. Just get over yourself. Like if it's not your thing, that's absolutely fine. But that doesn't mean every last person that owns an Xbox, there's not a section, a part of that, community that actually does want it. Like, that's just how I feel about it. But on that humble bundles thing, you painted a very good picture, Boom. I do think, once again, added to my points before, that is just another bridge closing that gap, and I think it's a phenomenal idea. Frankly, I'll be keeping a nose to, keeping an ear to the ground, because if they're as good as you say, I'm expecting a good bundle, like to open up
Oh
their
yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be spectacular. I mean, it might be some older games. You never know, you might get some 360 games in there. Who knows? But again, to have the ability to, to purchase, a large amount of games for a cheap price. I think everyone who games can understand that, because not everyone is rich. I mean, sure, there are several people within the chat. There's a boatload of people in the community that are well off, and that's awesome. But some people game on a budget, and being able to save a couple of bucks, that's dope. And I applaud that. And I want to move on to the next, not so big information kind of a topic, but I think it's interesting because as a content creator, we when we do these videos, the old standard way to do them is to talk and have a video playing in the background. And in the past, we would have to buy, a third-party device, something like an Elgato, a capture device. And, again, these things could be somewhat expensive. There's also another one called Avera Media. They have a capture device. I believe it's about $150, especially if you want a better one. They start to get up there. But in a shocking announcement, and I got very excited for this, the Xbox Game DVR just doubled its storage space. And needless to say, recording, game content just made it easier. But I want to break down what it said. In a post on Twitter, Major Nelson, of course, White Gloves Major Nelson, said that new changes to captures, which is, of course, the game DVR, means that there's going to be now 2 times the storage space for everyone. Existing clips older than 90 days without views will be deleted, as well as new clips unviewed after 30 days. Now, this is a big deal, and I'm going to tell you why. I try to capture a lot. That sometimes I have my thumb drive in, sometimes I don't. But there are certain instances, like for instance, like you're playing Red Dead Redemption 2, you get into a gunfight, they go into that real slow-mo screen, you see some guy's head blow up and his hat fly off, and you want to record that. One of the biggest problems that I've noticed is because I record so much, you get the message, erase some captures, you have too many. And then you go into your media part of your Xbox One, and I have captures. I seen something that says you recorded this 782 days ago. Like, why the hell is it still there? You know what I'm saying? Having to go and delete every one of these could somewhat be time consuming when you want to just play Red Dead Redemption 2. So I'm interested, in this, new addition, again, making services better on your Xbox. But I just want to kind of break down the bullet points in the tweet. For Xbox Live, upload captures from Xbox Live onto OneDrive from your console. Literally, it's a button press. In regards to downloads, all you have to do is open the Xbox One app on your PC, download it, select the download button, and you're good. And in regards to saving these clips on your external hard drives, all you have to do is record captures directly to an external hard drive from your console. That is literally a switch of a button. And captures recorded to an external hard drive can't be uploaded to Xbox Live from your console. FYI, just you want to know about that. But Drew, again, not breaking news, right? This isn't, people aren't going to start running out and lighting fires in the street. But I still think it's interesting. What are your takeaways on them doubling the amount of storage space for captures?
I think it's fantastic move for the simple reason being, whether you're a YouTuber or not, or like, I think a lot of people, even if they don't notice, like they're doing it half the time. Everyone likes to take screenshots and capture video from a game they're playing. It's kind of become second nature since the beginning of this generation.
Absolutely.
And so the fact that you've got double, like, I think that's great. Like it's certainly, like, once again, it's one of those things where I'll sit here patiently and wait for someone to pull a negative, like, for that, because how can you, like you're doubling the space. So like you said before, like, it's happened to me God knows how many times, Boom, where I'm playing.
It's annoying, dude.
Oh, I know. You think, oh, wicked, I'll capture that 4 minutes of gameplay. That'll be wicked in the background of a YouTube video I'm doing or whatever, and then you get that pop up, delete some of your captures, and you're like, oh man, it's just like it does. So it's cool that they're going to be doing something about that, filtering that out, but while also doubling your space, less likely for that to happen. I think it's brilliant. But I will say this though, Boom, just to add an extra condiment to this topic. It does raise the question for me, though, while they're turning their attention to the DVR feature, which is great, I'm wondering, is this like maybe a nod or a hint, or maybe I'm overthinking it, but is this maybe the first step in them turning their attention over to Upload Studio?
There has been a huge call in the community to get that updated, dude. You are not the only one talking about it.
Literally, man, I'm just thinking outside the box here, like for content creators especially, but not just that, but anyone. Give people without the top tier equipment the ability to create 4K videos with gameplay and narration and upload them directly to YouTube, perhaps, or from the Xbox, have an option to save it to your Xbox directly or an external device without any hassle. Because I remember when I started doing YouTube, and my first however many videos, I used Upload Studio, and more often than not, I'd have to redo the same video over and over again because it would be halfway through uploading it to YouTube and it would crash. Yes. And because it didn't let me save it to the to the Xbox or anything, it was just a waste of time. I had to start again and just hope that the next time it works. So give people the ability to save their videos to an external device, so then from there I can plug it into my laptop, upload it to YouTube. I don't care. But these DVR changes, doubling it, they're obviously looking into, like, capturing gameplay and stuff like that. Go an extra step. Let's have a redesigned, re-articulated, well done Upload Studio for the Xbox, where me, you, and Dupree down the road can make our videos in 4K. Because 4K, end of the day, especially if you're a 1X owner, it's all about 4K now. I know plenty of people who literally won't subscribe to certain channels on YouTube because the gameplay isn't in 4K, and it's like, okay then, it's like,
a bit of a snob. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's being a little bit snobby, but I can understand. It is a digital age, and people want the best. Listen, everyone's time matters, and that's one of the reasons why I put so much hard work into this show and into all the shows that I do, simply because I appreciate and respect people's time. I'm going to say this, and I let you finish your point because it's funny, but I think that's a little snobbish. I'm going to be.
Oh, mate, I completely agree. Like, I've never been. I used to get it all the time when I started because of Upload Studio being so unreliable. Before I got a laptop, I turned to my mobile phone and I just literally film myself with the selfie camera and with my piece of paper reading the news and shit. It's so funny when you look back. But like, that's why I stopped using Upload Studio, for that reason. because it was just so unreliable. I just think it'd be cool for them to like redo it. But literally back then, I used to have comments all the time like, I would subscribe to you, but because you're using your phone, I'm not going to bloody subscribe. Well, I'm just like, Christ, like, it's not about that. It's about what I'm talking about, in my opinions. But hey ho. But no, it's funny. You do get a lot of snobs, but you know, eventually, like unfortunately, like while I'm not snobby myself, like you do have to break. You know, like you got to keep up with the Joneses, as you'd put it.
Yeah, well, listen, again, you have to stay relevant. And if you own an Xbox One X, they make it easy. It's that simple. Buy an X, and you can do all of your stuff that you would like to do on Upload Studios right through the console. 4K capture. You know, very simple to a thumb drive, from the thumb drive to your computer, and you're good, right? I mean, that's what I do. Yeah, great points. Really great points, dude. But I want to just kind of shout out a few people here. Gaming Forte, who I got the awesome chance to hang out with last night on the Basement Arcade Radio podcast. I gotta tell you this: if you go to Enrique's, if you go to the Brap YouTube channel, subscribe to that dude. He puts a lot of work in. Their panel is just phenomenal. I mean, they're just a bunch of really funny, cool guys to hang around with. And he said something really interesting. He says, very good for content creators. I have an Elgato, but it doesn't capture 4K. I use Xbox Game DVR when I want to show off how great a game looks. And you know what? That's a fantastic point, because if you follow me on Twitter, which I highly suggest you do, I know it's a shameless plug, but I'm going to say it anyway. Damn it! I am a video whore master when it comes to wanting the community to see what I'm seeing, and I'm putting out videos all the time. I love it. It's very easy. It's literally a couple of button presses. I'm very elaborate when I type on Twitter. I sound like I'm trying to be a rocket scientist. Listen, guys, I went to college. I don't have massive degrees, but I still like to sound intelligent. So I really go into detail when I'm talking about, and I hope people appreciate that. But again, really simple usage for the Xbox One X. If you don't have an X, all you have to do is look at some of the videos that we've all put up when it comes to Red Dead Redemption 2, and that in itself will make you run out and buy an X. And you know what? Black Friday is in a couple of weeks, folks, and we're going to get a price drop on the X, and who knows, if you're a savvy kind of a buyer, you might be able to pick up for an X for like $280, which is bananas just thinking about that. But if you have nothing else, Drew, I'd like to move on to the next topic.
No, that's absolutely fine, man.
Okay, excellent. Well, listen, this is called the Xbox Factor XO prediction show for a reason. And before we get into our predictions, which I'm really stoked to do, I kind of just want to talk about what's been going on Twitter. And Xbox has been teasing for days, and it's like an itch on your back that you just can't get. Like I have big biceps. I'm not putting myself on a pedestal here. I go to the gym 4 days a week, and sometimes I just can't get that damn itch on my back. Well, that's how I feel Xbox has been for the last couple of weeks. Getting up to this XO event. I just want to scratch the itch. I just want to know what they know already. I'm tired of waiting. And the official Xbox Twitter account teased the upcoming fan show with a tweet that hinted at these surprises and more, including first looks at the game, and many games, more specifically Crackdown 3, which I'm really excited for. Inside Xbox, say what you want. This is going to be the biggest one. And Larry Herb is going to be there. We already know that the Matt Booty is going to be there. Obviously, he's there for a reason. It's going to be some sort of announcement. We know that we're getting Phil Spencer is going to be there. You're going to get Aaron Greenberg. He's going to be there. Mike Ybarra, I can't confirm whether he's going to be there, but I would not be surprised. And of course, we're going to have a lot to talk about. And everyone's going to be doing like post-game shows, and I'm going to try and do that as well. Drew, we will talk privately and see if we can get that rectified. But this is what the tweet said. and it's exciting. I'm excited because I'm an Xbox fan. I think everyone that's here, the near 100 people watching live, which is amazing. This is what they had to say. Join us for XO18, a global celebration of all things Xbox. XO18 is for Xbox fans, where people can watch online for news, first looks, and surprises on the largest live Inside Xbox episode ever. Xbox site about the Xbox XO18 event said, stay tuned on Nixer throughout the weekend for additional news. So not only are we getting XO18 on Saturday, throughout the weekend, we're going to be getting more announcements, which I think is really cool. And this is what I have to say about this. The world's eyes are on Microsoft and the Xbox platform, with the company bringing back the XO event. We have referenced this on the show before, Drew. You and I talked about this openly on how important this is. And the cancellation of Sony's PSX basically opened the door for XO18 to take the stage and basically blow the doors off the gaming world. Now, before we get into our predictions, my question to you, Drew, is this. Just how big will XO18 be? And are you slightly concerned that people could be let down if there aren't really several wow moments? Well, what are your takeaways on that, Drew?
Poor man, that's a loaded question because
it is, and that's why we listen. You and I are here because we are friends. We're brothers, right? But we're also, at the end of the day, huge Xbox fans. And when we sit down and we talk about this in DMs about how we're going to go on with the next show, you and I usually bring loaded questions to one another. I thought that this would be to really get your thought process on this show, and what are your takeaways from it?
Dude, it's like I said, loaded question, but I believe I have an answer for you. If you're asking me in a nutshell, like how big could XO be, and what was the follow-up question about it if it wasn't big?
If there aren't several wow moments, could people walk away disappointed?
I think so. Yeah, I think if, and this is a huge if because it contradicts how I personally feel, but if by some small chance there wasn't like at least a dozen big like announcements, like I mean, it is going to leave people very sour, I will admit, and frankly, it leave me sour. Why even bring this thing back?
Yes.
And hype it up to this level if it was going to be some wish-wash crap that they could have done in a tweet. Do you know what I mean? It's just like,
yeah.
I honestly, like with that said, if you're asking me how I feel, I honestly think, and I've said this before, I honestly think that this could be on par with E3.
Yes.
I think if they play their cards right, Boom, and they execute it the way I hope they do, which we'll get to our predictions in a moment, I think it could potentially be better. And that's not trying to get anyone's expectations too high. Those are my expectations. Take that what you will.
Yes.
Agree with me, disagree with me, I don't care. That is what I think personally. That's for me. So yes, if by some small chance they fail to deliver, it will leave myself and many others upset and pretty disappointed. But I don't think it'll come to that.
Well, you know what? I'm reading the chat, and some people have said some really good things. Like, for instance, Chief Nagel, the 8th, I believe that is. Unfortunately, he believes he heard that neither Halo Infinite or Gears 5 will not be there. That's basically confirmed. We are getting some. I'm going to say this, and this is, again, take this with a grain of salt. From an insider that I spoke to, we are getting Gears news. That's all I got. Okay, I got nothing else. So take that with a grain of salt. But here's the thing: as much as I want to see Halo Infinite, as much as I want to see as much freaking Gears as my eyeballs could take, I'm actually kind of excited that they're not there. And here's why: removing these two juggernauts will now leave room for all of these maybe double A, maybe some AAA games in there that won't be overshadowed by the size of these behemoths. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, these two pillars are basically the Gears franchise, the Halo franchise, and the Forza franchise are the pillars that hold the Xbox high in the sky. And, that's what's been holding for a while. We're now going to start seeing all of these other little pillars start to come up and really solidify the foundation of the Xbox platform moving forward. And this show has the potential to really showcase those titles. And that's what has me excited. Now, I'm going to say this. This is a complete assumption. If I make an ass out of myself, so be it. I really think that we are going to, and this is not part of my predictions, but you saw the tweet earlier in the month where they were talking about meeting with the marketing team of Ninja Theory, right? We know that Ninja Theory is going to be there, right? Aaron Greenberg basically kind of shouted it out, and he's a marketing guy, so he's going to do that, and I applaud him for it. Even though sometimes I give him shit, this was a good move. I have a very, very positive feeling that we are going to get a first look at Ninja Theory's game, and I can't effing wait. I'm going to be honest with you. But you know what? I want to go into predictions because there's 30 minutes left of the show or 40 minutes left of the show, and there's a lot to talk about because I want us to really just break down each individual pick. And I want to go to you first, Drew. Starting with your number 5, going in backwards, because obviously number 1 being number 1, it's got to be the best and the last. But what is your 5th prediction for XO18?
Right. I'll give you my prediction. I'll explain why I believe it should be at XO.
Nice.
We have at number 5 for me, the Crackdown 3 multiplayer. I'll say this one speaks for itself. On why it's a must. We need to see where the multiplayer is at. Is it 100% destructible environments being the number 1 question? Give us something to chew on and also to keep our expectations in check, as very little has been shown over the years. Like I said, that's pretty much my case in point. I think we've seen enough of the gameplay. While it might not have looked the best it could have when they shown it, we've seen what it's going to be like. We've seen numerous Terry Crews. God, what's going on? God damn it! We've seen loads of the bloody Old Spice ads, basically with a suit. But I want to see the multiplayer because that for me is one of the more important parts. Of any game for me, so I do think that needs to be shown.
Okay, I mean that's a solid number 5 pick. I think what you're asking for has basically been confirmed. Numerous reports suggest from insiders that say all of the destructible environments for the 5v5 are in the game. Remember, there was a rumor that they weren't in there. Well, guess what, folks? They're in there. So basically, that video that Dealer put up, and if you're not a fan of his or subscribe to him, I highly suggest it. Dealer Gaming, a very good friend of mine, he had put up a video. I don't know how long ago it was, but it was of someone shooting through a wall where you could logistically see the pieces of the concrete. Well, that destructibility is supposedly going to be on display at XO18. So that is a solid number 5 pick. And here's mine. Killer Instinct 2, in my opinion, is a must. The rebooted fighter has been out and changed developers from Double Helix, if you remember, Double Helix Games, who was bought by Amazon, and then Iron Galaxy took over and continued with consistent updates to make it the best in the KI franchise. I think that Xbox gamers and the world are ready for a proper Killer Instinct 2 at XO18, and I believe this is going to happen. And I'm going to tell you why I want to see it happen outside of just saying that there are a lot of fighters. I'm a fighting game fan. I grew up in the arcade era. I played Street Fighter 2 when it first came to the arcades. Yes, folks, I'm that old if you don't know. But with that said, I've had the arcade experience. I've had the home experience. I've had the so-so home experience. but could you just imagine for a second how insanely magnificent a proper Killer Instinct 2 would look running on the Xbox One X? I mean, my goodness, your eyeballs would bleed seeing Jago, Saberwolf, or Kilgore just tearing each other up to pieces. I'm super stoked for that reveal. I really believe it's going to be there. What do you think about that, Drew?
I think why not? I think why the hell not? It's certainly something I wouldn't have thought of myself. But Killer Instinct has gone from strength to strength, and if they were to bring us a true sequel with like you said, like the updated hardware, fully optimized, people, I think a lot of people would be very happy with that. So yeah, solid pick there, Boom.
Nice. Okay, so let's hear your number 4 pick.
Alrighty, I have Project X Cloud mobile gaming demo demonstration. Now, this is a reach, but I thought that, at the end of the day, I believe that in all honesty, this is not technically a must, as in like it must be there. But I do still think it would be cool to give us a peek behind the curtain. We know that xCloud is coming. It's not a secret. We know they're working on it. So without any immediate high expectations for it to be in its final state, why not give us a demo sort of demonstration of how it'll work? I can elaborate on that by just saying I think it'd be very cool. Like I said, no expectations. Everyone in the audience, anyone with half a brain cell knows that it's still kind of in its infancy, but they've likely got things, in place like they've obviously got prototypes and shit like that. I can't see why it would hurt for them to just show us what they've been working on to give us an extra taste. It's XO for a reason. It's an Xbox conference. This is the future and what they're working on. Give us a look. It's not going to hurt. If anything, it's just going to get people more hyped. But that's what I think.
Well, that's a fantastic pick, and the reason why there may be some reality to what you're saying, very simply, is the Google version of their xCloud, if you will, is currently testing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and a friend of the show, Predator H2O, has been playing it, and he says, and I quote, "It's literally like playing it on the console. There is no lag whatsoever," and he sometimes forgets he's playing this on the test service. So I mean, why not? I mean, if this is going to launch early or late next year, it would. Yeah, you're right. It would be an absolute fantastic time to just maybe test it. I don't know. Would they show what the specs are? Would they show what the final design of the little unit is going to be? You start to get into real touchy, situations. I don't know, but I do like your pick. I think that there is some truth to it, and that's a solid one, dude. But I want to go into my number 4, and I don't think anyone's talking about this, so I'm going to. Now, obviously, in the beginning of today's episode, I talked about EA Access, and I'm going to say this. It is certainly, in my opinion, one of the finer services that are available on the Xbox platform, and I highly encourage that if you're not a member, if you're not subscribed, that $30 that you get it's so worth the amount of games that you get, the ability to test everything for 10 hours, 5 days before. You get discounts on all DLC and all games. It's absolutely worth it. But if you're a PC player, EA introduced EA Origin Access late last year, and it's a program very similar to Microsoft's own Xbox Game Pass, where all EA titles are released day and date, and that includes all new titles. That means I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about the Maddens. I'm talking about the Lives. I'm talking about the NHL. Everything that they release in that year is going there day and date. Here's my prediction. First of all, before I get into my prediction, that whole thing is $99 a year or $14.99 per month. Now, obviously, $100, right? If you take $100 out of your pocket right now, you could not buy 2 new games. You would get a game in 3/4. And they don't sell 3/4 discs. So you would only be able to technically buy 1 game. For $99 a year, you get everything that they release day and date in this service. So obviously, if you're going to buy, let's say, 3 EA games, you've already made your money back double, right? Well, here's my prediction. I think EA Origin Access is going to be announced and available only on the PC and for all of the Xbox platforms. I think it is an ingenious move. We already have had EA Access for a couple of years. We know that EA and Microsoft do work hand in hand. I think this is a service that the Xbox gamers would come out in droves. Because think about this for a second. If this service is launched, right? Let's just say, for instance, on the 10th they launch it, and you say, okay, $99, I just slapped it down, I'm good. Well, Battlefield 5 is coming out. Well, guess what, folks? You don't have to buy it because it's going to be included. It's basically like Game Pass. All first-party games in there. You have the service. All EA games in there. When some of their other bigger titles like Anthem comes out next year. Guess what, folks? You don't have to spend the $60. Go buy yourself, go take your girl out for dinner because you don't have to buy that $60 game. Drew, do I sound like a mental case, number one? And number two, is this a fantastic suggestion and a possibility as being a big announcement for XO18?
No, I don't. I don't think you're a mental head case there, Boom. I think quite a big part of this show tonight, this morning, I should say. It's running into the evening for me, but it's a late morning for yourself. But
right.
We've been talking about building bridges between Xbox and PC, haven't we? Quite a lot. And,
yes.
And I think another great reason to just help bridge that gap would be this. I see nothing wrong with that, Boom. I think it's a good idea. We already have EA Access. Why not build upon that? Give us more options. Expand on the service. And I think it's phenomenal. Like it's a way for them to make money while also giving something back. And I think I'd certainly subscribe to that service. Hell yeah, I would. I mean, to know that you're going to get every Madden, Anthem, every pretty much every EA title, the next Star Wars Battlefront, I don't know, day and date, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 5, sorry. I think it's fantastic. Because like you said, for $99 a year, that's, like you said, 1.5 games in total. So you're saving loads of money. It's just like the Xbox Game Pass service. It's a phenomenal idea. I'm all for that. If it was to happen, I'd be all for it. So yeah, good call, man. It was good.
I just think that the value is so staggering for the $99. Again, you have to remember this when you talk about third-party developers, right? The two, whether you hate them, whether you love them, whether you have some sort of mixed feelings for them, is Activision and EA. They are, I mean, Ubisoft you can throw in there, okay, because Ubisoft is just as big. Those three developers put out the most games per year, right? And having EA Access with the Vault currently is already a stunning deal. But having EA Origin Access for your Xbox platform, especially, and you really nailed it on the head with the PC, because they put out a lot of RTS games on the PC. EA does, of course. And having the ability to pay $100, which would probably be $108 here in the States after tax, for all of those games. I mean, you're gonna be privy to at least anywhere between, I want to say, 9 and 12 EA games per year for $108. My God, that is a steal. I listen, I'm getting goosebumps. I don't even know if it's true. Hell, I'm probably wrong as all hell, and I'm okay with that because this is a prediction show. But I want to hear your number 3 pick, Drew.
Of course. Right, at number 3, I have a tease for what the Initiative and Ninja Theory are working on.
Very nice.
In the brackets, I've got trailers with a question mark, because I don't necessarily mean it has to be a trailer. It could be just the guys coming out and having and talking on, giving us a taste, or I don't know. Ideally, you'd expect some kind of trailer if they were going to tease anything, but just throwing it out there that it is optional. I just want to know what they're doing. But I've written down, this is a must, in my opinion, as there has been so much news in the grapevine. The main one being the massive hirings, the big names, the guys from Rockstar and all the other places who've come over because they want to be a part of the initiative pie. Gamers have been speculating, myself and you included, Boom, but I think now XO18 would be the best and most, what better time to show us something, anything.
Yes.
So yes, like that is my number 3. I want to see, not hear, not no rumors, no speculation. I want to actually see with my 2 eyes, hear with my 2 ears, and smell with my big ass nostrils. A nice tease for what the initiative and Ninja Theory are working on.
Yeah, you know what, dude? Again, the initiative. I would love it, dude. I look. Let me just say this. A couple of years ago, a couple of E3s ago, Nintendo flashed Metroid Prime 4, and it broke the internet. Right, like literally, the internet, the wires melted in everyone's house. It just was unbelievable. This past E3, what did Bethesda do? They just showed a title screen. And the world, again, broke. I mean, the repairmen were out in force. They knew this was going to happen. They had to fix everyone's PCs, all of their wires. They're all melted. Well, look, I know, everybody in this chat knows, everybody on the internet knows that they're working on Fable, right? We all know that. It's again, one of the worst kept secrets. But I'm going to say this. It is early. And to suggest that they could put a trailer together, I wouldn't want them to do that, because I don't want them someone to, because you know how the internet is. Something's going to go wrong in that trailer and be like, look, they're suck. They're not a quadruple A developer, garbage. But to put a screen, just to have Matt Booty come out, right? Have Phil Spencer come out. Have someone from Playground Games come out and say, listen, folks, this is XO18. We're here to celebrate you, and we know you wanted to see it. We don't have much to tell right now, but we're going to leave you with this. And Fable 4 hops on the screen. Dude, I'm getting goosebumps from my toes to the top of my fingers. Okay? That's how excited I am now. I can only imagine how the internet would be if that, in fact, was the case. So that is a great, absolutely fantastic pick, dude. Really strong. And you know what? Because I love this community so much, because I so really look forward to hanging out 3 times a week with you guys, I want to get you involved. Now, we're giving our picks, and I know some people said a few things, but let's hit the reset button. In the chat, put one of your personal predictions, and I'll attempt to, while doing the show, read them out live on the air. Give me what you want to see Microsoft bring to the stage, and I'll kind of move on to my next pick while the fan base does that. Okay, here, this is good, and this is, oh my God, man. I'm a nerd, guys. I'm a big old nerd, okay? I get excited for silly things. I get goosebumps for silly things. And I haven't even started to read my number 3, and I'm getting goosebumps already. That goes to show you how much I love freaking gaming. Okay, now, with the recent news of Mass Effect Andromeda getting the Xbox One X enhancement treatment, my next prediction should excite anyone who's a Mass Effect trilogy fan. Yes, that is right. The Mass Effect trilogy will be announced at XO18, and get this, it's going to be a 1-year timed exclusive for the Xbox platform, done in 4K. What do you think about that, Drew?
Wow. Yeah, I think that's a phenomenal idea. So the original trilogy now, yeah, just boom, like
yes,
on the plate,
all 3 games, all DLC, all in 4K.
Well, you'll be making a lot of people happy. No, I think that's a really good idea. Would that be a remastered trilogy or?
It would be no, it would be remastered with all new achievements to earn and in 4K. I mean,
Wow,
this is going to be the
even
real
better.
deal.
Yeah, no, that's even better. Like, yeah, wow. Okay, I think that'd be a really good idea. That'd be phenomenal. Yeah, good pick, Boom.
I kind of shocked you with that one, right?
Yeah, mate, you've actually like I didn't think it was possible, but you've rendered the Welsh gamer speechless. So that's cool,
that's
man.
hard to do. The first on this show. Listen, I got to read some people's some stuff here because it really there's some really good ones here. Some silly ones too. Let's see. It says Will SCZ says Microsoft buys Iron Galaxy and announces Killer Instinct 2. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they own Iron Galaxy. That's actually a really good question. I don't know. Masshole 1977 says he would love to see a new Prince of Persia. Good on you for that, because I love them. That's fantastic. AZ Brown Knight says partnership with Sega, and I've heard some things behind the scenes. They're pipe dreams, but we'll get to that in a second. Graphic God J Dubs in the house says his prediction is Left 4 Dead 3 will be an Xbox exclusive. Holy shit, that's amazing. I think we talked about that. DJ Singh says Ninja Theory game teaser, of course. Fable teaser. New studio announcement with, of course, white gloves. That's always very important. Let me see. Masshole with another one. Masshole 1977, and this is a big one. And it wasn't one of mine. I'm actually jealous. Rise, Son of Rome 2. Wow, that would be a big one. Let's see.
You know what, Boom?
Yes, please.
I just want to say, like, do you know what? You will. I don't think people understand how much I want to see a Rise, Son of Rome 2. Believe
I'm right there
me,
with you, dude.
It's not a case of want or people want. It genuinely needs to happen. But the sad truth is, Boom, I just don't see it happening, man. I don't want to be that bummer.
Yeah, like, no, you're right. You're right. I mean, obviously, we know who owns the IP. We also know that they're in financial ruin at this point. And also, real quick, I mean, again, this is, when I put these shows together, I come from a police background, and even though I wasn't considered a detective, I did do a lot of detective work. And I like to put little breadcrumbs out there, and sometimes I follow my own crumbs to my own conclusion. And Crisis 1, 2, and 3 were just made backwards compatible with X enhancements. And we know who made them. The same team, of course, that made Rise, Son of Rome. So again, complete speculation here, complete shot in the dark, absolutely reaching for the stars. Who's to say that they haven't made nice with one another and said, yeah, you know what? We'll sell you back the IP, and they make the announcement. They are buying a lot of studios. I mean, who's to say that one of the recently acquired studios wouldn't make a Rise, Son of Rome 2 with an RPG element to it? Oh, I don't know. I mean, think about that for a second.
No, man, I remember saying before, it'd be awesome if the Initiative took it on and done like a big, massive open spectrum, open world.
I mean, yeah, it has. I mean, look, there is a lot of lore there. I absolutely adored that game. I thought it was gritty and bloody and strong, and it just was one of my favorite titles. Crazily enough, it's still one of the best looking games on the Xbox platform. I mean, it's crazy to say that, and it launched in 2013. If you don't believe me, go pop on this game and tell me for yourself what you think. But you know what? But there's been a lot of really great ones. I'll get back to them in a second. Drew, I want to hear your number 2. What is your second pick for your prediction for XO18?
Right, I know this one contradicts what you said earlier, so I do apologize in advance. But I have to stick true with what at least I want to see, because while these are predictions and speculation, these are also personally just things that, like, as unlikely as may be, or likely, or whatever. I just want these are the things, the three things I've mentioned already, and the two things I'm about to mention are just the five things that I personally would love to see that would make XO the best, like better than E3. But anyway, to the point. Number two for me is, and I apologize, Boom, more Halo Infinite and Gears 5 information.
No, listen, please go away with it. I'm interested to hear.
No, I just want to see more information and or footage for those two titles. If you're a fan of Xbox, you are 99% likely to love at least one or both of these franchises. And I believe I speak for everyone when the mystery of Gears 5's new approach that Rod Ferguson alluded to is killing me, literally killing me.
I hope it's open world, i.e. God of War. Do it. But
this is what I mean, man. I mean, like, that is why I think it'd be a good idea to show something, because they've alluded to a whole new approach with Gears. So I think they need to rip the Band-Aid off. XO18 would be a great opportunity to show, like more information, show some gameplay, show the new combat, whether it's a new combat system or a new, like new mechanics, the way you navigate around the open world. If it was in fact an open world game, I'd love to see something. I would love to see something. And then to add to that, I've got Halo Infinite, literally in capital letters, needs more information. The Slipspace demo, while brilliant, amazing, and outright gorgeous, it wasn't enough to quench the thirst. They need, in big letters they need to show Halo Infinite. They need to show something, whether it's a bloody trailer, a new trailer that just gives us a taste of what the story is and what we can expect from the next Halo, like a standard Halo trailer that we've come to know and love over the years, or maybe just 5 minutes of gameplay. I don't know. I just want to see more than what we got at E3, because that, while cool, was not enough. I need to see more. But that is what I want from Halo Infinite and Gears 5. Just some more information, open us up to what they're working on behind closed doors. And that certainly concerns Gears because of what Rod Ferguson has said. But equally both Halo and Gears 5, I want to see more.
That is great. That is actually fantastic. Now, I am going to say this on a bit of a side note. We've had almost 110 people watching live, and I have to say I'm blown away. Like, I am so blown away that people actually dig this show and what me and Drew have to say. I am like, it warms my heart. But I have to say this because I get scolded on a regular basis from Mooch. # why is he yelling? And if I don't do this, and he listens to my show, he doesn't usually show up in the chat because he's working, but he does listen. And before I get on Crossfire, boom, you did it again. What did I do, Mooch? You didn't ask for the community to hit the like button. If you like the show, please hit the like button. Show me and Drew the love. It does help the channel grow. And listen, I'm going to say this. I'm not offended by thumbs downs. And if I'm doing something wrong as a host, I want you to say, Boom, I didn't like this. And we'll make sure that we rectify it. That's how much I have a love and respect for everyone that's listening.
I'm glad you said that, Boom, because I've already given you a thumbs down.
Good on you. Good on you for that. I appreciate that. But on a serious note, if you really enjoy the content, you enjoy the show, hit the like button. And guess what, folks? If you don't, hit the thumbs down button. I'm not offended. It just makes me want to do better. Okay. But I'm going to move on to my second one. And Drew, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to make a lot of people happy with this one. And I might stun you quiet once again. So here it goes. Square Enix has made several big announcements in the last few weeks concerning many PlayStation-only Final Fantasy titles finally coming to the Xbox platform. But one particular game was left off the list, and it had many gamers, including me, scratching my head. Just released on the PlayStation as an exclusive, Kingdom Hearts, the story so far, will be officially announced for the Xbox One and be available right now. Okay? Now, I know a lot of people are in the chat like that can't happen, but I'm going to say why it has to happen. Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out in early 2019, and most Xbox gamers don't know a damn thing about the series. This is a fantastic way for Square Enix, who just posted big losses, 33 million to be exact, to get back some of that money. And I'm telling you right now, out of the 45,000 Xbox gamers, I would not be surprised if this sells 10 million copies and actually breaks the MPD top 10, because gamers like Square Enix games, gamers like that Final Fantasy series, and gamers want Kingdom Hearts on the Xbox. Drew, what do you think?
Well, I am not, shall we say, well versed in the Kingdom Hearts franchise. Kingdom Hearts 3, like you mentioned, it was announced at E3. I saw it, captured gameplay at EGX. It does look really colorful, really nice. Kingdom Hearts, the story so far. If that was to come to Xbox, I think it's only right. That's for sure. It seems silly that it isn't, being that the new one's coming. And the fact that they have, Square Enix has announced that all the Final Fantasy games that are only on PlayStation are coming over. I think a lot of people would be happy with this. I can't sit here and say whether it will or won't, because I don't know enough about the series and how how loyal it is to the PlayStation platform or whatnot. But it's safe to say, based on what you're saying, Boom, that would be a very good thing for them to do. And if it was to come to the Xbox, it would certainly make a lot of people happy, especially people who are obviously fans of this franchise. Besides, even people like myself, who have not played any Kingdom Hearts games, literally have no clue what I would be getting myself into. If
You're
I
getting
was
6 games, dude. You're getting a total of 6 games with this package.
That's what I'm saying. It'd be great. It'd be a great way for someone like myself who literally has no clue about the Kingdom Hearts franchise. If I was invested, I thought, I'm going to give it a go. It'd be a great bundle. I will say this though: if they are going to do it, Kingdom Hearts, the story so far, 1 disc, 6 games. They are old games, yeah.
Yes, but a lot of the games have been updated, as well as all of the cutscenes.
Cool. Well, that's cool, but I will go as far to say that they need to price it correctly. It can't be a full price title.
No, it'd probably be about $40.
Yeah, I'd say even less than that, maybe 30, 35.
You know what? Because they posted a $33 million loss, dude. Listen, I'm going to say this, okay? And this is just me, folks. If you told me it was $60, the amount of play hours you're going to get out of this package, I would gladly pay $60. And I think the power price, I think the perfect power price is anywhere between 45 and 50. I mean, Drew, you're getting Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and these are 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, and all of the PSP and DS games. It's just the package, the amount of games you're getting is just, it's staggering.
No, mate, I get you. And I'll take your word for it, because you know more about this franchise and this game and stuff. But bottom line, if this was to happen, it'd make a lot of people happy. It's safe to say that much.
Yes, I can tell it would be a big seller, dude. And if you drop it like right now, it would be big in the holiday. Everyone would be able to get their Kingdom Hearts on before 3 comes out early next year. Who's knows, that could even be delayed. We don't know, because it is Square Enix. But I think everyone on the Xbox platform really wants that title finally make its way over.
And I hope it does. You paint a good picture, and just the tone of your voice, the way you're talking about it, like I can tell that it means a lot to you. I can tell that there's a lot of people who this would mean a lot for. So I honestly hope you're right. That's a good pick, Boom. That's something that I think a lot of people would agree with.
Nice. All right, so let's hear your number 1 pick for XO18.
Do you know what, Boom? This one couldn't be more obvious, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to be Captain Obvious. At number 1, I have a Fable announcement. Now, I know you were saying earlier that, it's the worst kept secret and this, that, and the other. I know you kind of already said it, but that is my number 1, Fable. I don't when writing this, I don't know if there's already been something on the internet we're not going to see Fable, whatever. I don't care. coming from Captain Ignorant, sitting right here, I'm just speaking out from the heart that that is what I want to see, and my reasons for why that this is a must is simple. The outcry needs to be answered. Fuck it. At this point, I couldn't care if Phil Spencer got up on stage literally just to say, guys, Fable is not happening. At this point, I just want to be put to bed on whatever the hell's going on, because as you said, Boom, we can pretty much guarantee it's happening.
Yes.
But I just want to know now. Like I know I said like about Halo and Gears and the Initiative and Ninja Theory, like, can we see some trailers? Can we see this? I would actually just accept at this point, just
a title screen.
Yeah, like Playground Games, for example, assuming that, it's highly speculated that they are, but let's just assume it is them. They came up on stage, they go, guys, thank you for this amazing journey. Thank you for everything that we've done. The Forza series has been a huge success. We're loving life. Xbox, they've taken us under their wing. This is what we're working on. And then they just point to their right. The big screen goes black. Then it shines. Boom! You see the Fable logo. Then the big letters Fable 4 or Fable Rebooted or Fable Legends or Fable Infinite or Fable whatever they're going to call it. But that's all I need to see. The crowd would go butt wild. It'd be another Metroid moment, like you said before. Yes. Like, I'm sorry, Boom, but how can they, if they're, oh my God, I get so frustrated because I just would love to have have Phil Spencer's ear, like, just for 5 minutes, just to say, like, dude, even if Fable, like, the announce, it's very early, say you haven't even began working on this game yet, you would be an absolute fool to not announce that you're making.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Yes. They need to, even if like they've only just signed off on a piece of paper, Fable is happening. That is like as far as it's gone in terms of its development. They have not even sat at a computer yet. That, for me, I'd for any other game in the world, I'd say, don't you dare announce anything. We don't want a Fable Legends on our hands, part of, the irony, or a Scalebound on our hand. We don't want any of that. Just keep your mouth shut until it's ready to show, blah, blah, blah. No, fuck the rules. In this case, I don't care.
Right. I agree with you, dude. I think what you're saying has so much merit to it, and I'm pretty sure. Let me go crazy here and say I'm absolutely sure that Phil Spencer knows this. And listen, we understand they're not going to show gameplay. I get it, but you don't need to. Do you understand? I'm right there with you. You don't have to explain what you're doing, when it's coming out. You just need to say Fable on the screen. The crowd would go wild. It would be like someone just scored a goal or someone hit or won a Super Bowl. That's the excitement in the room. Real quick, I have to give a very big shout out, Chaos Theory, with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much, dude. Every dollar helps. He says, yes, that would make him very happy with a Kingdom Hearts announcement. And yeah, I'm right there with you, dude. I have Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5, and 2.8 for the PlayStation 4. But guess what? I don't want to play it there. I played it a little bit. I want achievements. I'm not a big trophy kind of a guy. I have level 13 in trophies. Yes, I do have a decent amount, but I'm more of an Xbox guy, and I'd love to finally see that come to that console. So listen, Drew, getting back to you, that was a fantastic, strong pick. I think that what you're saying has merit. I think that it has relevance, and I think it would be one of the biggest announcements. And you know what's crazy? It would be one of the biggest announcements that we knew were coming because everyone knows that they're working on Fable. I just wish that, like you, they would freaking tell us already.
No, for sure, man. I mean, bottom line, just to end my point, I can basically say wholeheartedly, I'm guaranteeing you that Fable is happening and it is in fact Playground Games. I've done about 2 or 3 videos.
Yes, you have, and they were fantastic. Yes.
Thank you. Boom, I appreciate that massively. And I'm telling you, fact, not fiction, that it's happening. So, like I said, we don't need a trailer. We don't need the big blasé. We just need Playground Games to come out and say it. That's all I want. That is all I want.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. And real quick, real funny, Pink Floyd in the chat says Fable and he'll faint. And I think most gamers will be in your exact. I'll be passed out on the couch. I'm gonna need some sort of smelling salts. Okay, so here's my number one, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. It's not as big as the Welsh gamers because I am a nerd and I don't care. I have been a fan of this duo since the N64 days. You know who I'm talking about. I was gutted and devastated at last week's Nintendo Direct, where Banjo-Kazooie was not announced as a playable character in Smash Brothers, though I believe they still are, that are going to be added in the season pass of guest characters. But here's my number one pick. Banjo and Kazooie have been at the tip of many gamers' tongues, including mine, since the rumors started flowing back at E3 2018. Unfortunately, there has been no new news, but plenty of hints via Twitter. And I'm going to say this. I am almost positive that not only are we getting a Banjo and Kazooie announcement, but it's not going to be a reboot of the original one. I think it's going to be Banjo and Kazooie 3E that we saw on a Rare on one of the developers from Rare on his profile on Twitter, and then when the world got wind of it, he took it down. Now that would be unacceptable if he was just poking fun. If it was during April Fools, I could live with it, but I think that there is some seriousness to it. That is my number one pick. That's my number one want. I know it may not be everyone's. I know Mooch always breaks my balls about, nobody really wants nostalgia. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. But for me personally, on the Xbox One X, I could really enjoy a new Banjo-Kazooie. I think the platform needs variety. I think that it's, it doesn't have to be at the shooter box. Kids do play it. And this would be a welcome addition to the first-party studio games that are only available, obviously, on the Xbox and in PC. So that's it. Drew, what do you think with my last number one pick?
I'm going to say this this is the thing, right? Like, I don't know how much of an outcry there is for Banjo. Like, in another instance, you could be telling this to someone, and I could just answer with, Mooch has a point, man. Screw this. Screw your point. Fuck you. Nostalgia, y'all. But I'll be honest, like, you're pitching this prediction to someone who actually has a big hole in his heart for Banjo and Kazooie.
Nice.
Because I make one of my favorite systems growing up. I've already told you before. It's the first system I ever got for myself as a gamer. Like, I used to play with my brothers with the PlayStation, stuff like that. I never owned a console of my own. Banjo-Kazooie, as well as like Mario 64, now a few other games, was like, it's cemented in my brain as like one of the first games I ever properly played to myself. And the funny thing is, Boom, being that I was a young kid, half the time I don't even think I knew what I was doing. I was just a young dumb kid just going around in circles, like, wow, colors. So I think now would be the best time for a Banjo-Kazooie to come to the forefront, because I'm an older gamer. I actually know what I'm doing now, and I still have that love for Banjo in my left sleeve. So it's like, now would be a perfect time. Like, I'm still playing Super Lucky's Tale and enjoying.
Oh, that's what a great title. I love it.
Mate, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. It's colorful. So, mate, I'm all for it. And that is a fantastic pick. You've picked the right guy for the show, Boom, because I'm a big Banjo-Kazooie, lover. I love that game. What I can remember of it anyway, because that's how young I was. But still, I got a lot of time for that one, Boom. I hope to God it happens. That's for sure.
Well, look, I'm going to say this. This has been an incredible show for a lot of reasons. First and foremost, it's an Xbox-centric show that we put out on a weekly basis, and it's right before XO18. So it was the perfect time for our prediction show. I think that both of us really knocked it out of the park. The chat, once again, stepping up big, playing nice with each other, just a bunch of guys and gals hanging out, having fun. We broke records once again, Drew, with I thought we had 111 people watching live, which is just, it's mind-bending that we can get that many people live. That is really something special. It really does mean that you guys are digging the content that me and Drew are putting out there, and that does mean the world to us. A big shout out once again to UK Batteris, or UK Forzaris as he's going as right now, for putting out the Arcade 1-Up link. Once again, they are a sponsor of today's show, and they have officially partnered with my channel. Again, I'll say it publicly. I want to thank them for taking the time to do that, because my channel is still growing. I just made 1 year on November 3rd. Compare my channel compared to who they're working with is just unbelievable. I mean, some of the people that have already previewed their machines have 5 and 6 and 700,000 subs, where I only have just under 1,800. So for them to take a chance on me it's a really big deal for me personally, and for the channel. And again, I'm not saying to check them out because they partnered. I'm saying because if you're an older gamer like me and you appreciate the arcade feel, just go over to YouTube and take a look at what they're selling. You might dig it. Drew, I always say this at the end of every episode. I could not do this without you. I look forward to us hanging out each and every week, because we're such good brothers and friends, and that I'm actually a fan of your work just as much as you're a fan of mine. But tell everyone where they can find you, and where they can sub your YouTube channel.
Thank you very much, Boom, once again. And could I just say, my puppy Beagle stayed the night in this room that I'm doing the podcast in with my, my missus was in the bed and the dog was in the room with her. And this show has been so good that I forgot how much it stinks in this room, because the dog did a massive shit on the floor right next to me. Bastard.
Man, that's the way you close out a show. I got to be honest with you.
Bastard dog. Bloody wipe yourself. Anywho, awesome show, Boom. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's got me well excited for XO18. I can't wait to watch it. Hopefully watch it with you. Hopefully someone's doing like a live reaction thing, which hopefully I can jump on. We can jump on. I don't know. Whatever.
We're gonna. You know what? Being that you said it, what I'm attempting to do is I'm putting a panel together that includes the Welsh and myself, my brother Neo Mental, and Jay the Retro Gamer. We'll be doing a post XO18 reaction panel, a 60-minute program to basically break down everything that we saw. It's going to be happening Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And more information will be put out on Twitter from both of us. We look forward to seeing you in the chat. Everyone have a fantastic show. Drew, once again, dude, you are literally one of my favorite people on the internet. Like I said, we met on CCC, and it was just bros since then. I could not imagine doing this show without anyone else. But I look forward to hearing your thoughts on XO18, but we'll talk privately. I just want to close out the show with a big thank you to you, Drew, to the entire chat, to UK Dazaris, and of course the 1-Up Arcade company for partnering with Double Barrel Gaming. I want to say have a fantastic rest of the week. I will see you guys on Saturday, and of course we will see you next Thursday on the next new episode of the Xbox Factor podcast. Have a great day, everyone. Take care.